Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here today. If you saw the title already, you know that this video today is going to be about 8 things I wish I knew about makeup as a beginner. So if that is you and you're curious to hear what those 8 things are, just keep on watching. Alright, so I'm sure as some of you know by now, makeup is not the easiest thing in the world. When I started wearing makeup as a preteen, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to apply anything, I didn't know what products to get, I didn't know anything like that. So whether you are just a young person who is just starting to learn how to do their makeup, or you're somebody that's been wearing makeup their entire life and just wants to know a little bit more about it, that is why I am here today to help. I've gathered up a list of some of the things that I wish I knew when I started doing makeup, and I'm going to tell you what they are today. So here we go, let's get into the 8 things I wish I knew about makeup as a beginner. Alright, so my first tip for you is to blend, blend, blend. Foundation, concealer, eyeshadow, all of it. So an example of this would be that when you're putting on your foundation, make sure to blend it down to your neck so that everything comes together really smoothly and it looks nice and sharp and not just like a streak right here where there's just a color variation. And then with eyeshadow, you guys have seen me do this in videos all the time where I take a separate brush and I make sure to blend out the eyeshadow so that there are no harsh lines. With your face products, you can do that with a brush, you can do that with a beauty sponge, whatever is your preference, but just make sure that you blend. Alright, so the second tip that I have for you is to moisturize. I know that that technically doesn't have to do with a makeup product or makeup in particular, but they go hand in hand. And this goes for you ladies out there with oily skin as well, because I have oily skin, and since I have started truly moisturizing morning and night, it makes a huge difference in how my makeup wears and how my skin looks and all of that. It makes a difference with how the products go on. They go on a lot smoother. So trust me, it makes a difference. You don't have to go out and buy a super fancy moisturizer or anything like that. Just use your lotion or use a moisturizing primer before you put your makeup on in the morning. And I guarantee you that it will make a huge difference in how it stays on and how it applies. So that is my second tip to you. Make sure that you moisturize. Alright, so the third thing that I wish I knew is to prime your eyes. Now I know that this probably seems excessive, but trust me, as somebody who's beginning to do their makeup, this helps so much with the wearability of your eyeshadow. You don't have to buy an eye primer. You could just use a little bit of foundation up there or a little bit of concealer and then set it with a setting powder. And it will help so much with prolonging creasing in your eyeshadow or preventing oily eyelids, because I know that that's definitely a thing. So if you prime your eyes, it doesn't take very long. It's just when you're blending in your foundation or your concealer or whatever, just take a little bit up on your eyelid, and when you set your face, just make sure that you set the powder on your eyes as well. It's super simple, and like I said, it makes it so that it prolongs the creasing of your eyeshadow. You know, when you're wearing like a glittery eyeshadow and it gets right in your crease, it helps to prolong that, and it helps it to be able to look really nice for a really long amount of time. Alright, so my fourth tip slash thing I wish I knew is to apply your eyeshadow and eyeliner according to your eye shape. Something that used to frustrate me so much was I would watch a YouTuber do their makeup and they would have different shaped eyes than me. They'd have like more lid space and stuff like that, and I get so frustrated when I tried to do my makeup like theirs and it wouldn't turn out the same because my eye shape was different. So I'll just use myself as an example. I have hooded lids, which mean that whenever my eyes are open, you can very well see a line where my lid stops and where my crease begins. And so I don't have very much lid space at all. So what I've learned over the years is that whenever I am doing a crease color, to make sure that I take it up a little higher, because in a lot of tutorials they'll just take a shade in their crease and I'm like, okay, I'll do that, but then I open my eye and I can't see the shade. So I just take it up a little bit higher, and then when I'm applying a lighter color, I'll just do it right on my tiny little lid space. And when I'm doing my eyeliner, I make sure to do it a lot thinner on my lid because I don't have as much space. When I started doing eyeliner at first, I used to do it as thick as I would see it on a video, and it would cover up my whole lid, and I'm like, what? You can't even see my eyeshadow. So I make sure, at least with my eyelids, since they're hooded, to do my eyeliner a lot thinner so you can see the eyeshadow that I've put so much time and effort into. So yes, make sure that you apply your eyeshadow and liner according to your eye shape. And if you don't know what your eye shape is, you can always look something up online and figure it out so that it can really, really help you out in the long run. All right, so the fifth thing that I wish I knew was to find a foundation that is your shade. Now, you may be thinking, well, duh, why wouldn't I do that? But honestly, this can get really messed up really quickly. What I mean by this is not just to find something that you think looks right with your skin, but also your skin tone. A lot of people have different undertones in their skin. Like I have a pink undertone in my skin, or like a reddish undertone. Some people have blue undertones, some people have green undertones, some people have yellow undertones. Everybody has different undertones in their skin. So not only are you trying to find a shade that just matches what you see in the mirror, you're trying to find a shade that matches the undertone of your skin. Because I have gotten foundations in the past that have those like blue or green undertones, and they make the red and pink undertones in my skin look really weird, because it's like trying to put a cool tone foundation over warm tone skin. So I know that that sounds really confusing and really weird, but if you look at certain foundations, some of the shades will be almost the same, but they just have that slight difference in the undertone. So for example, one of my Tarte concealers that I have, the name of it is Light, but if you look it up online, it says Light with pink undertones. So it does require a little bit of research, and not everything just says it right off the bat. A lot of times you have to test it, and if you're testing foundation, test it on your face. Do not test it on your hand, because your hand a lot of times is a different color than your face. That's a little added little bonus tip in there. But anyways, yes, find a foundation that is your shade, that is your undertone, so that you can match it correctly with your skin tone. All right, so tip number 6 is that you don't have to spend a fortune to get good quality products. And this applies to brushes as well. Some of my favorite brushes are from e.l.f., which you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Target, wherever, for like anywhere from like $1 to $5 a brush. Super, super, super cheap. And you do not have to spend a fortune, because those brushes, while they may be cheap, are super great quality. They're amazing. Anyways, going back to the makeup, you don't have to spend your entire life savings. You don't have to get a new credit card at Ulta or wherever just so that you can afford the best of the best. Some of the best makeup that I have tried was on the more inexpensive side. Off the top of my head, one of the most affordable yet amazing quality brands that I can think of is ColourPop. They have amazing stuff. Their lipsticks are anywhere from like $4 to $6. I got their highlighter for, I think it was like $6 or something like that. But honestly, their products are amazing. They compare to some of the best high-end makeup that I have in my collection, and they are so, so affordable. And that doesn't mean that you just have to go and buy everything from ColourPop now. You can find good quality products in any price range. So that doesn't mean that you have to go and spend all your money just to make sure that you have the best of the best. So just keep that in mind the next time you go shopping. So the 7th thing is, do not go to sleep with your makeup on. I know that this might sound like common sense, but when I was a teenager, if I would get back from like a school dance, or I was in my pajamas but I still had my makeup on and I was staying up doing my homework or whatever, sometimes I'd be like, no problem, I'll just fall asleep with it on. Not smart. Make sure that you wash your makeup off, because if you don't, that stuff will just sit and it will sink into your skin and it will cause you to break out. It's just not good. If it's just to the point that you don't want to go and you don't want to scrub your face and do all that stuff, at least use a makeup wipe, or I use micellar water, which is you just take the bottle and you put it on a little cotton pad and then you wipe your makeup off with that. Your skin will thank you later. So that is that tip. Make sure you wash off your makeup at the end of the night. Do not go to sleep in your makeup, no matter how tempting sleep sounds. Don't do it. Take care of the skin you're in. All right, so the 8th and final thing, which is honestly, in my opinion, the most important thing, is to remember that makeup is meant to showcase your features, not to cover up your imperfections. You were born beautiful. You will always be beautiful your entire life. You do not need makeup to make you beautiful. If you are putting on makeup just to cover yourself up because you don't like the way that you look, I actually encourage you not to wear it for a while, because I went through a period of time when I was a teenager that I felt like I had to wear makeup every single day, because if I didn't, I thought I didn't look good. That's not good for your mental health. That is not good for your image of yourself. It's not good for anybody. So just remember that you are beautiful. You do not need makeup to be beautiful. Makeup is something that is used to be creative. It is something that is used to accentuate the features that you have already been given. I always say that I wear makeup to the point where you can still recognize who I am. I'm not going to put so much makeup on that I look like a different person, because who I am is beautiful and who you are is beautiful. So do not wear makeup to cover yourself up. Use it to make the features that you have been given stand out even more. It's such a fun way and a creative way. It's like art on your face. It's like painting your face. So use it as that, and use it to accentuate, to showcase the beautiful features that you have been given, and not to cover up your quote unquote imperfections. You are made in God's image, and that is good enough. You do not need makeup to show you who you are, because you are beautiful. All right, so with all that being said, I am now going to go into a time of encouragement and prayer. So if you would like to receive that, just stick around for a few extra minutes. So I was going through some stuff yesterday, and I found these 2 papers that my sister gave me when I was in high school. And it was when I was going through a time where I was just feeling really insecure and just dealing with a lot of stuff like that. And they were just 2 pieces of paper that had a bunch of Bible verses on them about our worth and about who we were created to be. And at the top she said, "You are beautiful, perfect, and holy in your Father's eyes." And there's just a bunch of verses on here that are so beautiful, and that was so sweet of her to do. I'm so glad that I kept it after all these years, because it's still really heartwarming to look back on and just to see not only how far I've come since then, but just how sweet she is, and just beautiful reminders of who we were created to be. So I'm gonna take one of the verses from the paper, and it's Luke 12 verses 6 through 7. It says, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows." That's just a beautiful reminder that at the end of the day, there are 7 billion people on this planet, something like that. Let me check that. How many people live on the planet Earth? 7.8 billion, so we're almost 8 billion. But anyways, with 7.8 billion people on this earth, you are still known and you are still seen by God, by your Heavenly Father. You are still seen. Isn't that crazy to think that there are so many people on this earth, but still He sees each and every single one of us? Sometimes God speaks through pictures, and He shows me pictures in my head, so I just get this picture of an arena just full of people, and in the back there's a person standing, and they think that they're not seen. They think that nobody knows them, that if they weren't there that nobody would care. And I just see God looking down and almost just shining a spotlight on them and saying, "I see you, I know you, and I love you. You could never get lost in a room of 10. You can never get lost in a room of 100,000. I see you, and I know you, and I love you." So just take that with you today, and I'm just gonna pray into that. If you guys would bow your heads with me, that would be amazing. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that we are seen, that we are known, and that we are loved, and that you know the amount of hairs on our head. You know what is going on in our hearts. You know and see what is going on in our minds. I just pray that everybody would be reminded today of your love for them, and that they are not alone, and that you are always there. I just love you so much, God, and I thank you for every single person watching. Pray that you would bless them. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If these tips were helpful, you can always feel free to leave a like down below. And if you would like to receive encouragement and prayer with every single video, you can always subscribe to my channel as well. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Bye.